Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and this one is about a beginner's guide to home recording. This is something that many of you, my dear subscribers, or maybe random people who watch my videos, have been asking for quite a while, and finally I decided to do one. First, let's talk a little bit about the gear you need. Let's assume that we are all now guitar players, but the same rules apply. If you're a bass player or mandolin player or whatever. So obviously a guitar, a cable, and an audio interface. I have here Steinberg's, the top of the line product with many ins and outs, and I have Ferrofish Pulse 60 with even more ins and outs because I have a lot of analog gear. But this one I'm gonna just use plugins and one single input. So you can, do this with just the one single input audio interface, because they are pretty cheap nowadays, and I think most of them are really, really good. As my travel interface, I have Focusrite Scarlett, like 2i2, two inputs. So, and I've done albums with that. Basically, you need a one input audio interface. I would suggest to get two, because then you can use one as your guitar or bass, your instrument input with the high Z input. That means that it's for, hooking up your instrument there, and then the other maybe for vocals to record some demo ideas, because one can be sometimes a bit limiting. So two inputs and then your speaker out, then you're good to go. You can do everything then inside the DAW, like I'm gonna show you now. So let's go to my DAW screen, which is Logic, and I'll tell a little bit about this really basic home recording song demo template, what I use, and then we're actually gonna write a song or like an idea. I have no idea yet what I'm going to do, but we'll see. Welcome aboard. So this is a template I did specifically for this video, and if you're interested having this, if you're a Logic user, I haven't yet decided if I'm gonna put this in a Dropbox link or then if you need to email me and ask this. But whatever it will be, what I decide later, the info is on the description. So either there's my email where you can ask this, or then I'll put a Dropbox link in there. So this is really basic. So first what I have is a drum track, and I use Superior Drummer. Toontrack's Easy Drummer is probably better for the beginners. This is a little bit complicated. I don't use this like this, just one out. I use multi-outs and raw drums and full bleed and whatever. But this is, like I said, for the beginners. They have pretty cool presets here. So what I use now is a basic Superior Drummer 3's Man of Sand preset. It's a little bit like Lars Ulrich's sound on the Black album. Easy Drummer probably has something similar. So these are kind of like mixed, so you don't necessarily need to know anything about mixing drums. You just find a preset that you like, and then if you feel that, oh, the kick is a little bit too high, then you can, use the volume faders to reduce. But there's all the EQing and everything on these presets are done. So just find out what is the closest you're looking for, and it comes out here. There's all compression, like basically a ready drum mix for you. And then a lot of grooves. I use a lot, almost exclusively in the last year or so. Devin James, Iron Stronghold Productions drum beats. I have all his packages. These are really great. So let's say this hard rock drum MIDI pack by Devin James. It comes with several kind of imaginary songs where Devin has put it. There is different. There's count-ins, fill variations, outro fills, different beats. Usually there's always a tom beat, open hi-hat beat, just a snare beat, crash beat, ride beat. So you can compose songs, and these are really good. They're not like drum solos like these sometimes can be, but just your really nice drum grooves. And obviously you can edit them by yourself. In my case, inside the Superior Drummer or with your DAW's MIDI editor. But for this, I'm just gonna use the ready-made Devin James beats. Okay, then let's move forward. And then second, what I have here is my rhythm guitars. How I always set this up, that I have the actual guitars, the tracks that I record with, and then it's just J48 DI, because my cable is going through my studio setup, so it's going through the pedal board, but there's nothing on, and the pedal board goes to the DI, and then from the DI it goes to the input. But DI isn't necessarily, for me it's just that, because from the DI there's throughout to my real amps and then one to the audio interface, but it's basically the same in this case, and plugging straight into audio interface is high Z input. Two rhythm guitar tracks left and right, and then they go to this bus where I'll EQ them or add certain effects. I'm sending stuff to certain effects, which we're gonna go soon. And then I have additional guitar bus for melodies or whatever additional guitars. Same thing, two guitar tracks, they go to bus, and then these are like VCA faders. So these are pretty cool, because then I can kind of hide these, you know, what I don't need or what I've already done to, you know, make the real estate smaller if I need to. And these I can use these also as just a volume, you know, fader for all of these, the individual guitars and the bass. And then lead guitars, same thing, bass, same thing, you know, couple of tracks, bass, bass, and then the VCA fader. And then I have my effects, which I use mostly, and for this I decided that should actually go to a mix bus and not a stereo out. I'm gonna go to that soon. Why? I have chorus, dimension D. It's not really a chorus, it's just it widens everything and makes the stuff alive. Then I have a H3000 Eventide harmonizer on the micro pitch shift setting. For delays, I have chosen to use a Softube's Tape Echoes, great delay. And then for a room ambience sound, I have decided to use Softube's Char 1R reverb. Then the mix bus. The reason I don't put these into the stereo out, because many times when I'm mixing a song, I automate the mix bus too. And now since it's individual track, it's actually here, and then when I press the automation, so I see the automation curves, and I can do this with the fader, because the stereo out isn't behind, because I use this SSL console. So the stereo out to me, it's just where everything finally gets out. That's why the individual mix bus. And what I have there is the SSL channel strip. The reason is because I have it like this, so every channel has SSL. So in a way, it's kind of like not your clean DAW, but an SSL mixing console. Even though if you don't do anything, it still affects the sound a little bit, because as we know, or if you don't know, now you know that the DAWs, they're really clean. If you want to make that analog mojo, which we all want, then strong recommendation for using like emulations of channel strips. I like SSL stuff the most. Softube makes awesome channel strips. I've used those too, and I still use, but lately I've been using SSL's own. The 4000E is probably my favorite if I would need to pick one of their channel strips. They have the 4000B and this E, and then channel strip 2, which is 9000 series SSL console. That's the cleanest. Then mix bus. I've actually used this on real mixes if I've done them while traveling or whatever. So this is Waves Chris Lord Alge's mix down. This is basically his mix bus in a plugin, and this start me up setting is how he has set his mix bus compression and EQ. So he uses a Focusrite's red compressor and pair of Pultecs for low end and top end boost. And when this is like this start me up, then it's, even though it says like 0, but it's not, it's his curve, this basic starting point. So you get a little bit of top and bottom end there, kind of smiley face, and then the compression and a little bit of SSL's analog drive. Chris Lord Alge uses real SSL 4000E disc. Well, this is great. And the last thing I have here is a master limiter, which I use only just to prevent the red light, so it doesn't let anything through, but it doesn't really. I have it on a punch setting, so it maybe adds a little bit punch, but this is mainly for me as a kind of safety. And then if I need, when I'm putting stuff to YouTube, I could probably crank it up a little bit so it's to get more loudness. YSM1 is my favorite limiter for mix bus. I've used this for years, so it's great. But basically any limiter could do, even Logic's own limiter, just to have the safety net that you're not clipping the mix bus. This is my recommendation, the MM1. And then these are just meters. This is Logic's own meter, where you can see how loud is my mix is. That's kind of the target, you know, -14 laughs around, you know, before mastering. And then the sound ID reference. This is calibrated to my room and my ESC 307 on monitors. I'm gonna take it out now. It will sound a bit weird to me because I have a bump around 100 Hz, but since I'm screen recording this, I don't want to record my room's calibration because in your room it would sound then really weird. So now it's off. So this is the thing. Few things in Logic. So whenever you're like to listen a certain channel, you press this, and then you can, you know, direct monitor it. And then this knob here in Logic, low latency monitoring mode. When I don't have this on, depending how much plugins and how much stuff you have, there's a latency, or could be. When I press this on, it bypasses all the stuff that creates latency, and in this case, these buses, so my effects, they create latency, so it bypasses them. Now when I play, there's no latency. Cool. So that's that. And then what I have on these individual channels is Softube's amp room. So I'm a Marshall guy, as you can see, and this Softube's amp room and the Marshall suite is one of my favorite amp plugins. So it's just a plugin. ODR, well, this is SD1, except these are the other way, and this is a bit hotter than SD1, because I usually have on Real SD a little bit more level and a little bit more drive. Then I have a noise gate after that. This plugin has noise gate here, but I don't like it because it's kind of in an effect loop, and I don't like that. I never use noise gate in an effect loop with original amps. I mean, my old JCM main artists, they don't even have an effect loop. I use this just like I use my real gear. Overdrive, noise gate to get rid of the hiss, amplifier, cabinet, in this case 2 cabinets, which I have real vintage cabinet with Marshall vintage speakers, and then I have a greenback cabinet in another room mic. I have these, most of these mics what they have here, and this is really realistic. Nothing post effects. This is there's small low cut just for the, you know, because you don't really need that information with guitar. I'm pretty sure there isn't any, but that's just, you know, why not? So yeah, and then on another channel I have a little bit different amp. It's the JMP 2203, which is a earlier version of 800 2203. The look is different, and in my experience I used to own 79 JMP, they're a little bit smoother sounding, warmer sounding than 800s, the JMP223s. Okay, so let's record something. So first let's open. I did a little bit pre-thing, so I decided to use this Gasoline imaginary song that Devin James has made. I forgot to do one thing when I created this template. It's important that when you're dealing with MIDI, you use a musical grid. So this, I had that not chosen, so it was showing me the seconds, but I want these to be bars, so then it's a lot easier to get the MIDI to correct places and be in tempo. So let's put the count in first, and I usually always put it to start on 2, because then when I record, you know, I have 2 bars counting, and then if I start here, it's you know, I have more time when I start, and then it's easier to edit, or if I wanna put maybe something before the drums start or whatever. So now we have a counting in there. Great. Then let's choose some basic. I think this hi-hat open beat was. Yes. Let's use this. Then let's use it another time. So in Logic, Option, you press Option, then you drag, it copies it. You could do obviously these two, but I like to have these separately if I need to change something. Okay, let's listen. Kind of having some sort of idea in mind, so I'm gonna actually put a drum fill here that is 1 bar long. Let's see, fill variation. That's great. Yes. Great, and then some kind of chorus, probably looking for some half tempo crash. It's a bit too slow. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. All right, cool. Then let's paint these and move this whole thing here, like that. Let's use a different fill to go to the second chorus. Let's use this one. Like this. Oh, that was long. Maybe I don't need. I just actually use this. Then the chorus again. Okay, let's assume that, let's put an outro fill in there too. Maybe I'll do it like this. Right, then we can close this. Okay, then I'm gonna open this one here and do a markers. Whoops, not there. Let's put these two here. First marker, I'm gonna write it count. Second marker, verse. Third marker, that's chorus. And this was again verse and chorus. Let's mark this one too. let's name it outro field. Okay, now this is easy just to, you know, see where you are. The tempo we can put this because this is 170. So whenever you're, let's say, recording bass here, you can, okay, I want to start, you know, where's the chorus, where's the verse, so you can always see where you are. And how I said these controls here on my SSL channel, you know, I'm pressing certain things, then I can, you know, skip between the markers, which is actually really handy in mixing when you want to focus on, oh, where was that part. And then now we have the beat. Then let's put this on, and then the low latency mode on, so we can actually hear. And then I have the left guitar here, the Marshall 800. Okay, let's put the click on. Let's see a good recording volume. Okay, that needs to be longer. That was too short. So I kind of had a riff there. This here. So then because that second verse was too short, and then we move this chorus to here and the verse here, and let's actually do a double chorus last thing. So we move outro here like this. Okay, then let's see how it now feels. The second verse, did I make it right? It needs to be even longer. Let's make it like this. You know, like you see, this is pretty easy to do nowadays. Now let's try the chorus again. The verse was good. The outro felt a little bit like an extra, so we'll do it like this, and then we move this to here. Okay, save. And click is important to have. You know, even though the drums are in time, but with the click you always have a solid 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, no matter what the drummer is doing. Okay, now I think I have it, so let me play it. I was just improvising. I think the chord section was pretty good, but the riff is something in F minor, but we'll see. okay, the song structure is okay, and that red line, that's from the click, you know. Then let's record the guitar left, and R is in Logic is the recording button, which is pretty obvious. Oh yeah, I need to kind of figure the main riff. Yeah, let's go with that one. All right. Great. Then guitar right, which is the JMB 2203 again, just to create a little bit different sound and different vibe. The guitars sound wider that way. And then let's actually listen the volume. Let's put the left guitar, I just recorded a little bit quieter. All right, rock and roll. Right, then let's take this off and this direct monitoring also. I have everything there. Let's listen now. Okay, so what I did is I opened the channel strip on the bus because I want to hit between 12 and 6. So this at 0, then I was able, and then I just lowered the volume on the bus, both guitars volume. There's no EQ at the moment, but it sounds pretty good. And if we see this like a guitar in. So I'm hitting there between 12 and 6, kind of like on the what I would do on the real console, because this is really good emulation. And how I did that, I just tweaked the output here to match that I'm hitting the target where I want. You know, gain staging, that is called. Okay, I think now we have that, and let's record some bass. Again, same input. I have a tuner here on my pedal board. Let's see if this is in tune. It should be a little bit flat, because this tuning is a standard E flat. It's flat from standard E flat. Not anymore. Then I'm gonna change the pick, because for bass I like to use thinner picks. This is, I think, 0.80. Now let's put this so I can hear myself. Okay, let's see the recording level. Okay, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna play to the bass, so let's see. Maybe I'll double that. Okay, let's see how that works. Yeah, that's pretty cool. The bass was still a bit out of tune. Cool. So, you know, with bass, I usually try to play something similar just to keep the low end solid. Let's do it like this and see if it works, right? I improvised quite a bit, but you know, if I would do this for real, I would pay a bit more attention, but this is again just to show. And then what I'll do is I'll copy this track to another bass track, which gives me a top end. Let's put the bass back. Let's mute the rhythm guitars, and I actually move the bass because for some reason, I'm the bass after the guitars, but I always have the bass here closest to the drums. It's pretty good. The kick is too loud. I'm gonna just reduce the kick a little bit. Yeah, 4 dBs. Alright, then I'm hearing some melody stuff in the choruses with another guitars. So let's grab a guitar, and now I have the add guitar, and what I have there is a well, JMP. Okay, let's use a JMP, because now this left melody guitar is going to be a JMP, because the left rhythm guitar is the 800, so there's a little bit of difference. Let's go to the chorus. Let's try something like this, just from the top of my head, and let's pan this to about 45 to the left, and this 45 to the right, because the rhythm guitars are hard panned left and right. Yeah, let's go with that one. And then let's record it here too. Cool, basic melody in E natural minor, because this is in, or actually it's E flat natural minor because of the tuning, but anyway, you know what I mean. Then we'll do a harmony, third harmony, which will be, I need to figure it out. I think something like that. Yes, I was right. Done this a few times. Similar like CYHRA, we use a lot of these third harmonies. All right, let's listen. Let's record the harmony. And what I have here on the right one, I think it's the 800. Yes, great. Record. Cool, and same to here. Let's erase this. I usually like to record everything once. I don't like to cut and paste and, you know. And obviously, doing these harmonies, if you know theory, it helps. It's a lot faster when you don't need to second guess and you know what you're doing. So knowing theory, at least to me, helps many things so much easier and faster. It was so and so good. It was a bit of a change, and since I'm literally making this up now, so now we have these, and then let's. Well, I mean, I haven't mixed anything. Everything is just, you know. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send these melody guitars to delay. All right, so now we are start to sound pretty good. By adding a little bit delay to these additional / melody guitars. I have lead guitar basses here too, but you know, those are mainly for like actual guitar leads, which we're not gonna have this time because there isn't any room for them. Let's listen to this once more. All right, then let's mix this a little bit. So let's actually see the drums if we are hitting them in the right volume. Adding a little bit of the preamp, you know, like microphone pre's on guitar. This has really well emulated the SSL 4000E's mic pre, and you know, I can add a little bit more that to the drums. Felt a little bit more alive and have a character. Okay, that is cool. Drums are fine. Then the bass. Well, I had there already my basic bass bass starting setting. It worked pretty well. I added a bit more top. There's a little bit, cut at low mids, that, and a tiny amount of 50 hertz. Oh, that's the bass bus, and the bass knob, which is this is like the Ampeg. It gives me this sound. And a Murder One Marshall Plexi by Softtube gives me the clank. Together they sound like. Okay, the rhythm section is pretty much there. I'm doing this quite fast, and I think that should be the case. I don't need the soothe. I don't feel there. So soothe is this kind of artificial. It reduces some harsh frequencies. Kind of. Let me show you. And I don't think that there's no need. Maybe I'll back off the upper mids a little bit. I think what I'm gonna use is a C6. Clears the low mids, you know, that muddiness and bass kind of, it's a little bit more audible. Okay, then let's take this part, the melody guitars. They could use a little bit of compression. This is a simple trick if you're not familiar with any compressor. So you put the release to center on the SSL, crank the threshold, and then increase the radio until you get maximum 6 dB of compression. This looks on many sources incredibly well, at least if you want to quickly get a compression happening. We're immediately a little bit more like in the front without doing volume stuff, because the compressor keeps it you know, really nicely in there. Let's see what the soothe does to these. Darkens them too much, and no need for soothe on this one. All right. Then let's check the mix bus. Again, the same on individual channels. I want to hit the mix bus, you know, between these two, so I'm reducing the input trim a little bit. I'm getting like around 2 dB of compression. And top end and bottom end. This is important, you need to mix into this, because now without this I would have dialed a lot more bottom end to guitars and bass and stuff, but this already gives me the smiley face, so I need to do only small things. I'm hitting the limiter a tiny amount still. Yeah, let's increase the volume a bit so that we're hitting around -14 LUFS. also going on with bass and rhythm guitars. I'm sending them to this dimension D, so listen what that does. It also kind of spreads the bass a little bit away from the kick and snare, and if there will be vocals, so it's kind of center, but it's a little bit there, you know, small things. At least this will be ready to, you know, send a demo to maybe a record label or your bandmates or whatever, or just for your own fun, maybe even to YouTube videos, you know, your music, what you do. That was pretty much it. So hopefully you learned something about this and got something out of this, whether if you're a beginner or not. And just a quick recap what you need. Instrument, you know, guitar, bass, both. Instrument cable, audio interface with at least one input, high Z input, a DAW, like in my case Logic. Then, you know, amp plugin, amp sim. You know, I use mostly, if I use amp sims and not my real amps, I use the Softube's amp room, Boogre digitals, those one knob things, or auto audios 1111. Those are pretty much the only amp sims I've used in recent years. Then a good channel strip that you can put across all tracks to get away from that sterile and clean DAW. I mean, if you want that sterile and clean, then that's another thing. I don't. And what I use now was SSL's 4000E. Softube makes great one. Waves has SSL plugins because you have pretty much, like you saw, everything in there. Filters, EQ, compression, preamp, you know, girth, and like that. And then what else did I use? Yeah, the bass knob from Boogre, simple stuff. That's about it. Few effects, like I used the Dimension D a little bit and the H3000 just to widen things. A delay. I'll put links to all of the stuff I use now on this video. Check the screen so I don't forget anything. I probably did, but anyways, I will edit this now and you'll find all the gear that I used, like plugins, here in the description. Thanks for watching. Take care. Until next time, all the best. Bye.